This tutorial is for mile marker 3, practice 1, question 6. In question 6, if you look at our triangle, you can observe that we're given the values of two sides of the triangle, and we're looking to find one of the angles. So anytime we're given two sides, we're either finding an angle or the third side. When we're finding the angle, we're going to use trigonometry, and specifically when we get to what we're actually going to plug in the calculator, we're going to use an inverse trig statement. So I like to go ahead and code these, so I'm going to say that's inverse trig, and we'll get to what that means in just a minute. So let's go back to our trig functions, and we said SOHCAHTOA is a helpful way to remember those. And I would recommend strongly that we just go ahead and label what we know about this triangle as far as opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So if you look at the triangle, the hypotenuse is always the side that's opposite the right angle. The leg that is 37 units, that is going to be our opposite leg because we're looking at this angle here. And so that's the leg that's opposite that angle, and it does not share a vertex with that angle. Therefore, 19 is our adjacent side. Okay, so since we have information about the adjacent side and the opposite side, we don't know anything about the hypotenuse. That tells us that we're going to use the tangent function. So what I want to do is let's go ahead and write this statement out exactly as we would if it were a regular trig problem where we knew the angle. So I'm going to say the x. So the tangent of x is equal to the ratio of the opposite to the adjacent side. So it is equal to 37 over 19. Now, this is not something that we can plug into the calculator. What we need to do, though, is when we have the tangent of an angle and we don't know the angle, we can rewrite this as an inverse trig function. So to make this an inverse trig function, so first of all, by inverse, I mean we're going to see the button that says tangent to the -1. That -1 we use to represent the inverse. And we're going to essentially just swap out this information. So the inverse tangent of 37 over 19 will give us x. So in your calculator, you'll probably have to hit the button that says second, and then when you hit the tangent button after you've hit second, that should bring you the inverse tangent button. You're going to plug this into the calculator exactly as is, and when you hit enter, it should give you the value for that angle. So that should be approximately 62 and 819 thousandths. So remember that when you're writing your answers in here, you want to make sure you round to 3 decimal places.